Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. There's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And the State of the Saints podcast is powered by BETUS. You can sign up and get up to 150% on your first deposit, up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. All you have to do is download the BETUS app or go to their website and use the promo code YouTube150. Well, Who Dat Nation, we're back at it again. The Saints, they travel to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Football Giants, and what a lot of people are calling the mid-off. And by what I mean by mid-off is two average teams that are, not very good, going at it for, pride, But the New Orleans Saints, they are going to New Jersey. And I'm pretty sure they want to go to MetLife Stadium and get themselves a victory on today. We know that the New Orleans Saints, they went to 4-8 last week with a loss to the Los Angeles Rams, a game the New Orleans Saints couldn't afford to lose. I mean, if you look at the NFC South, how things have been shaping up over the last couple of weeks, the Atlanta Falcons have been sputtering, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been winning some games consecutively. The New Orleans Saints would have been one game back, and this game against the Giants would have meant a lot more. And if you would have got yourself a victory in this game on today, if you're watching this on a Sunday, then you would have been right back in the thick of things. But we know that the New Orleans Saints throughout the entire season have been falling short, can't close games, and that has been a reoccurring issue. But the New Orleans Saints, I expect for them to go out there and try to win this football game. If you look at the New York Giants, I mean, they're a terrible football team, man. They're pretty bad. I think they only won 2 games the entire season. They haven't won a home game all season. They decided to move on from Daniel Jones. He was released. They brought in Tommy DeVito, or brought up, I should say, Tommy DeVito. He was a third-string quarterback. Thought that may provide a spark because of, his ties to that area. But he played against Tampa, looked terrible, and, he ended up getting hurt. And last week during Thanksgiving, you had the Dallas Cowboys, in that game, Drew Lock was the starter, and Drew Lock will be the starter in this game on today. Drew Lock is a guy that can bring something to the table. He has some decent arm strength. He has been in some games. He has started some games during his time in Seattle. And, I think that he'll be able to get the ball out to the receivers better than Tommy DeVito did. But I just think that when you look at the New York Giants, they kind of know what they are right now. They're saying it without actually saying it, that they are conceding. It seems like they're trying to tank. If you're not trying to tank, why didn't you go to Drew Lock in the first place? Why would you go to the third-string guy that more than likely isn't good enough to get you the victories that you want? You look at Brian Daboll, the head coach. Will he be there next season? We've seen the press conferences over the last couple of weeks about New York Giants players calling out the coaching staff, calling out the organization, labeling themselves as soft. Malik Neighbors, a former LSU Tiger and a very, very talented rookie wide receiver for the Giants, has been very, very vocal and very frustrated about his production or lack thereof with the team. And you add the fact that he has been dealing with a hip injury. The question is, will he be able to play in this game week 14, or how much will he be able to play? That is the question. But I look at the New York Football Giants. I look at the running game. Tracy, the rookie out of Purdue, he has been pretty decent. You had Devin Singletary, who provides a little bit of a complementary to Tracy. But these guys have been running the ball really well. And we know that the New Orleans Saints have struggled against the run. This is a game where I feel like the New Orleans Saints want to put something better on tape when it comes to the run defense. I don't expect for the Saints to completely shut down the running game of the New York Giants because, look, you're not going to just automatically just stop doing things that have plagued you throughout the season just because you're playing against a team that's bad. I just think that the Saints are who they are right now, and they're going to have to find a way to try to neutralize this running game. You also have some talented guys at the wide receiver position. You got Jalen Hyatt, who really hasn't been a factor since he's come out of the University of Tennessee. I thought that he would be one of those top wide receivers in that class, but I mean, I want to say maybe he has like 57 yards total this entire season. He's very frustrated about his production. You got Wendell Robinson, who probably is your number 2 wide receiver. I expect for him, if Malik Neighbors can't play, in that full capacity, I expect for Robinson to step up in his game. And then you have Darius Slayton, who has provided a little bit of something productive in the wide receiver room. But offensively, they are what they are, the Giants. They try to find things that work. The running game is the thing that works, so the Saints have to be ready to be able to stop the run. Meanwhile, on the defensive side of football, you don't have Dexter Lawrence anymore, so that's going to play a huge role for the New Orleans Saints offense. You don't have to worry about Dexter Lawrence, who has been disruptive ever since he has come into the league. He's on IR, but the Giants, they can get to the quarterback. They are one of the top pass rushing teams in the NFL despite their record. So, this is going to be a game where you're going to have Derek Carr. He's going to have to get that ball out of his hands pretty quickly. I expect for the Saints to do some 2 to 3 step drops. Some of these quick slants to these wide receivers, maybe set up something down the field as well. But I think that the Saints are going to try to run the football in this game with Alvin Kamara. And you also have a returning Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller has been the talk among Saints fans and reporters throughout the week. What his production will actually look like. Should he have been on IR in the first place? That was a very controversial topic. The fact that Kendre Miller shouldn't have been on IR. Some people felt maybe he probably would have missed a game and that would have been it. But this is an opportunity for Kendre Miller. You don't have Taysom Hill running the football anymore. He's out for the season, tore his ACL. Now you just have Alvin Kamara. So you want to use Alvin Kamara. I expect for the Saints to try to have him carry the ball, or have him between 25 to 30 touches the way it's been over the last couple of weeks. But if Kendre Miller can get rolling, this can help out Alvin Kamara tremendously because Alvin Kamara doesn't have to worry about carrying the entire football team. And I don't care what anybody says. I think that Kendre Miller is an extremely talented running back. I think he has all the skills that you need to be a really talented running back in the National Football League. When he's out there, you can see some of his talents in spurts, but he has to be healthy. He has to be consistent when it comes to being productive on the field. I don't think his talent is a question. It's just his overall health. And if he can get that under control, I think that he can be a good complementary back for Alvin Kamara for the foreseeable future. You move on to the wide receivers. The wide receivers, guys like Dante Pettis, guys like Kevin Austin, and also Marquez Valdez-Scantling. These guys have been a breath of fresh air. They have really stepped up in their roles. You look at Kevin Austin and Dante Pettis. These guys have been on the practice squad. They have been activated over the last couple of weeks. But you look at a guy like Kevin Austin, he just goes out there and he just catch passes, man. He just goes out there and puts forth his best effort, and it has been playing a huge role for the Saints. He has converted third downs. He has made clutch catches. So the Saints are going to need him to do that again against the Giants. I expect for a deep pass to be thrown to Valdez-Scantling. I just think it's a matter of when. But I would like to see Valdez-Scantling be a little bit more active in the offensive game throughout the game. It always seems like he's just primed for one big play to come through, and That's about it. But that's fine because those big plays lead to touchdowns. But I would like to see him more active in the game, and I think that the Saints are probably going to try to do that. On the defensive side of the football, I want to see the New Orleans Saints get after Drew Lock. The Saints pass rush has been little to non-existent throughout the season. I've seen some flashes over the last couple of weeks. Brian Brzee has been getting to the quarterback. You've seen Carl Granderson get some pressures. Chase Young, I thought that he would have been much better this season, but I don't know, man. That's maybe why the reason why his stock wasn't very high. And I don't expect for his stock to be very high this offseason when he becomes a free agent. But this is an opportunity for him to be able to step up over the next couple of weeks and maybe make things interesting, man. You can't have that Randy Moss mentality where you play when you want to, especially when you have all the talent in the world to be a really good pass rush. The interior needs to, once again, stop the run. And if you can actually do that, I think this should be an easy victory for the New Orleans Saints. The linebackers got to be able to tackle as well as the secondary. There's been some big plays because the wide receivers of the opposing team have been able to break tackles from the cornerbacks and the safeties. And it would be great to see if the Saints can actually get a turnover in this game. Not too many turnovers have been taking place over the last couple of weeks. So if the New Orleans Saints can actually generate some turnovers, I think that this game can be over by halftime. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to win this football game. I think when you look at who wants it more, you will have to say the Saints want this game because of their love and their respect for Darren Rizzi. They want to make this thing interesting at the end of the season for Saints management and make them kind of wonder, is Darren Rizzi the right guy for the job? So I expect for the Saints to continue to play. I expect for them to continue to work to try to make sure that Darren Rizzi isn't a running for the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints. But I would love to hear from you. What do you think about the Saints game? Saints taking on the New York Giants. What do you think the keys to victory are for the New Orleans Saints? Comment down below, like and share this video. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, my name is Timothy J. Jones. We are powered by BETUS. Sign up today. Get up to 150% on your first deposit, up to 125% on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. You can come up here. We're almost at the end. Up to $2,000. Yeah, there's a little bit of a code, man, but make sure that you sign up. You can use the promo code YouTube150. And also, you can check out the State of the Saints podcast here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Previous episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. And also, you can follow me on social media on Blue Sky and X at TJAY Jones 8. Till next time, all I gotta say is, you gotta say it better than that. Give me a who that.
Well,
Who
thank
dat?
you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.